Why is it recording? Hey, Seema.
Hey, sorry about the technical.
No, that's fine. I don't know why, but when I create a meeting, it automatically puts in the Teams now.
Oh, I know. That same thing happened to me at one of my meetings, and they were confused, and people were on Teams, and I wonder if Carol's on Teams by mistake too.
Well, I joined and I didn't see her,
Uh-oh.
so maybe she's just running a few.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's true. Let me get everything ready.
I'm in the office today, and of course, I just tried to go into a meeting room and my internet is not working if I unplug from my computer here. So I have to stay at my desk for this.
Yes. I know the feel. It's like when it rains, it pours. You're like, what is happening?
It never works when you want it to work. It's so annoying.
Yeah. And then when it works and you're like, oh, I can join a meeting like a minute before the meeting starts. That's when, of course, you have all the problems. And then you're like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You have to think of other ways to get into it.
So yeah, I'm trying to just make sure everything is connecting right. It was weird when I actually opened this webinar. It said that it's recording, and normally I have to click recording, which is interesting.
Oh, yes.
But let me just make sure.
Do you have Carol's cell number by any chance? Maybe.
Let me just send her a quick email. Of course, like everything's all over the place now because it's like only showing up on one screen, but I have to my laptop has the computer or camera. Oh my, this is confusing. Oh, is Carol joining? There she is. Hi, Carol.
Or she may be clicked up. Yeah, there she is.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Great.
When you put the slides up for Carol, I actually am going to be going through kind of like just playing on what she says and how it relates to kind of lifestyle and improving overall health. So I was going to just, if you want to keep it up, that's fine. Or if you don't, is fine too. But I use, like she says, control your spending and financial balances. And I'll say control what you're eating, drinking, and how much you're spending time, how you're spending your time in a meaningful way.
Okay. So yeah, I usually kind of keep him up until we kind of go through all of the points.
Okay. Yeah. So she's going to go through 1 through 9, and then I'm going to do the same kind of 1 through 9, but using her words, which are perfect, and just kind of adapting them to overall lifestyle.
Gotcha. Okay. Let me just out here.
And this one has a Q&A just to make sure.
Yeah. Yep. But again, I'm just going to be dropping any questions into the chat box and not the Q&A box. All right. Everything's synced correctly. Let's see. Health.
Carol, how was your long weekend?
My long weekend was good, but kind of busy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went to Atlanta, my beloved Atlanta,
Oh, that was
to
was
see
it was
my
the weather
brother.
rainy there too, or was it okay?
Was it raining there?
Hmm?
Did we get rain? We may have gotten a shower, but we just like literally before I hopped on, we were having like a major thunderstorm, and I was like, God, please don't let my Wi-Fi go out. I said, please don't knock out the Wi-Fi. Whatever you do, Jesus.
Yes, we've had those too, especially for the kids if they want to play video games or whatever. Like,
Yes, I
like
mean, it was
it's
rumbling. I mean, because they were
yes.
sending off the alerts and the alarms. Because I was putting my makeup on, I was thinking, what's going on? So I checked my phone. I said, oh, just don't let it be the tornadoes that came through here, last year during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, it's so close to 1 o'clock. Please don't let the Wi-Fi go out, because that usually happens with a hailstorm.
Oh, no.
So we are blessed today.
Yes, that's right. Still internet access on. Very cool.
Yes, yes, yes. How was your weekend?
It was okay. I went to my in-laws' house in New Jersey, which was, I mean, it's always my in-laws are lovely people, but maybe not to me. So so it's always fun, interesting.
Right, right. Well, I had a great time. My brother is moving. So we were up to 3 o'clock in the morning with his girlfriend packing and just being silly. So my schedule was way off for about 2 days.
Oh yes, I used to be able to do those 3 o'clock mornings and then be right back. But now it's like, what is happening to me? It takes me like a week to be like, 'cause I used to do night
Yeah,
calls. And so like, oh, no problem. I go to, work 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. I'll take a nap. I'll be fine. And yes.
I can't do it anymore. As a matter of fact, I just finished the adrenal test that you do with saliva,
Oh,
because I was having highs and lows with my energy level. So my test showed that my peak was at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, that's too late in the day to be peaking.
what is up with that? That's not right.
Right. So I got to definitely work on my
So
sleeping.
you're like, yay, it's the end of the workday.
Yeah. So they gave me a couple of supplements to take to help balance me out. And that's why I'm seriously working on my sleep pattern, because I said I can't peak I think it peaks at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., which makes absolutely no sense. It needs to be peaking like when I wake up, I need to have energy. So,
Yes, yes, exactly. And the minute, it's true.
yeah.
And your sleep cycle can help you with that, adjusting that. And then eating too, like waiting when you want to go to sleep early, you have to not eat too early or too late, because that'll affect your sleep, onset and then also duration and quality of sleep. Anyway, lots of things. A lot of things
Yes,
to do.
yes. All of the above is what I'm working on, because I try to eat my last meal of any sort by 7 p.m. And then I'm in fasting mode, whether I'm going to eat, it's just I have to fast until the next day.
That's good. I know your habits. Obviously, we talked about it on this thing. It's been you're so good. That's why you look like the way you do. So that's
Thank you.
All right, ladies, I am going to mute myself. And Seema, so since this is already recording, normally you kind of go base your timing off that. Kind of just right at 1 o'clock, we're good to go.
okay. Just start right exactly at 1. Got it.
Yep. And then if any questions come in, I'll just chat you them and we're good to go.
Sounds
All
good.
right, have fun.
Thank you.
Session 3, last session.
I'm showing like 12:59. Is that what you have, Dr. Seema?
You too, exactly.
Okay.
Great. Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on Rise and Thrive with EHE Health, an interactive platform where we get to discuss all things health together. Before we get started, if you have any questions, please type them into the comment box and we will do our best to answer. The discussion will live on EHE's social media page, so you can rewatch or share with friends or family members, and you might want to with these sessions with Carol Hunter. As you may know, my name is Dr. Seema Sarin, and I'm one of the medical directors at EHE Health and our director of lifestyle medicine, where I provide clinical oversight of our preventive programs, including our prevention and health mentorship programs. I'm also board certified in internal medicine and lifestyle medicine. Lifestyle medicine actually lends itself well to the topic of financial stress and techniques to improve your financial health, as this stress can play a role in developing chronic disease. There's a big interplay between fiscal health and physical health. So today will be our final session in our 3-part series on financial health. We will go in depth on how to attain healthy finances through a detox program. We'll also discuss the benefits of detoxifying your life for optimizing physical health by considering things like good nutrition, development of positive personal relationships, and the responsible use of social media. By combining the positive changes you'll be making with your finances with the ones for your health, you'll be in good shape now and years into the future. So joining me today as our subject matter expert is Miss Carol Hunter. She's otherwise known as the Money Mender, who's a leading personal finance and money freedom expert for over 30 years. She's provided just excellent advice and insight as we discuss the general principles of financial health for the past 2 weeks. And we're looking forward to her insight this week as well. Carol, if you wouldn't mind giving us a little bit of your background.
Absolutely. Good afternoon. And once again, Dr. Seema, I am so honored to be joining you with the EHE community for this very timely and educational conversation regarding financial wellness. And I just sincerely appreciate the team at EHE with Joy Altamari and Colette Mahoney for allowing me to join you for this incredible series. It has really been an amazing journey. And so again, I'm Carol Hunter, and most people call me the Money Mender. And the reason that they call me the Money Mender is because of my ability to mend broken financial systems. And I also provide the support that is required for you to maintain a stable financial foundation. And through my mentoring programs, I support all income levels. You know, it doesn't matter if you're on the lower end or the higher end, there is a program. And then I participate with training collaborations such as these with corporations and colleges and churches and a host of other partnerships. And I've had the awesome privilege of being published in the Huffington Post, and I enjoy frequent appearances on 2 major networks, which are Fox and TBN. And I've also published 2 financial books. So just in case you're joining me for the first time, and you stay until the end, you will have an opportunity for the following. So every participant will receive the link to access my complimentary 5-part financial program. And that's going to help you jumpstart your financial freedom, because we can all use a jumpstart from time to time, regardless of where you are. And then one amazing lucky person is going to win a complimentary 30-minute coaching session with me, yours truly, the Money Mender. And so as Dr. Seema has already stated, the recordings from the first 2 sessions, they are available. And today we are going to focus on the importance of detoxing on a regular basis to maintain wellness in every area of our lives. And that does include financial wellness. So Dr. Seema, can you provide some insight on the health benefits of detox in our lives on a regular basis?
Yes, that's a great question. And absolutely, Carol, definitely. It's important to look at our lives on a regular basis and determine how best to improve. Unfortunately, what you may not know about detox diets, unfortunately, they're not exactly what I'm recommending. If you understand detox diets being ways to eliminate toxins from your body, like a specific detox diets, like a period of fasting, followed by a strict diet of raw vegetables, fruit and fruit juices, those types of things. The fact is that if your kidneys and liver are working well, they already do a good job to eliminate toxins. And also these detox diets that you may see advertised, or different fad diets, they use different herbs and other supplements, colon cleansing, which you may have heard, which are enemas to empty the intestines. They actually can be dangerous in some people, and it can cause dehydration, electrolyte imbalances, kidney problems. So instead, I actually recommend detoxing your lifestyle on a holistic basis. So how do you improve your diet overall? How do you reset and recharge your physical health? How do you improve your mental and emotional health as well? And there's several benefits of this. this, including reduction of disease by up to 80%, according to the World Health Organization, just by maintaining good nutrition and exercise habits, normal lab values, and things like that. It also allows you to live longer, and it allows you to live a more enriched and fulfilled life. And we'll get into the specifics of specifically how to achieve that in a few minutes. But from a financial perspective, Carol, can you share with us some practical benefits of financial detoxing?
Oh, absolutely, Dr. Seema, I sure can. I have created what I have labeled as a 30-day financial detox, and I created this many years ago, and it continues to be extremely helpful for my clients that do need support with changing their spending behavior so that they can stabilize their finances while still enjoying their life. And so I want to give 9 what I call purposeful benefits from my 30-day financial detox. Of course, there are many more, but these 9 are really significant. And so we have a PowerPoint slide that we're going to share just in case you want to take a picture or write these down. You can certainly do that. And so the first one is this: the benefits of a 30-day financial detox. So we're talking about 1 month. It allows you to control spending and stabilize your finances. That's so important. You have to get control in order to have stability. So here we are. If you don't have any control over your spending, then your finances will not be stable. And then secondly, it's so important that you transform your mindset and your financial attitude. You know, your mindset has everything to do with how you think, your thought processes. So mindset is kind of like a fixed mental attitude. And so whatever you're thinking is going to affect how you handle money and your financial behaviors. And so this detox is going to help you shift in areas where you need to make improvements. The third thing is this 30-day detox enables you to implement an effective, keyword, effective financial plan. Oftentimes we will write down, create, put it in our tablets and on our laptops. We'll create this laptop and have all the sheets and all the forms. But if it's not effective, then you're not going to do anything with it. If it's too overwhelming, if it's too advanced for where you are, if it's too complicated, you're not going to do anything with it. So we want to implement an effective financial plan that you're going to work with. And then number 4, very, very important. This 30-day financial detox will help you to develop new spending habits, because if your money is funny right now and it's not where you need it to be, then that probably is an indication of something not going very well with your spending habits. And so new habits will be necessary in order for you to get a different result. Number 5, the 5th benefit is you're able to eliminate credit card balances and spontaneous debit card purchases, because if you're not making spontaneous debit card purchases that were not planned, then that frees up extra money for you to apply towards your outstanding credit card balances, so you can start eliminating that debt and getting yourself to a place where whatever you charge on your card, you're able to pay it off when your statements arrive, versus carrying those balances and then incurring interest on top of what you've already spent. The 6th benefit that this 30-day detox does is allow you to shop with a grocery list. A grocery list encourages controlled spending. Remember, we said you've got to control your spending in the first benefit. Well, you know, if you go to the grocery store and you know on the end cap, everything that you don't need to buy is going to be on the end cap. And if it's a buy one, get one, you're going to throw that in your basket. And now, because you're not spending according to the plan that you've set up, you've overspent what you've allocated in your grocery basket. And so now you didn't have a list, you didn't stick to a list, so you went outside the boundaries of where you were supposed to be working with your effective financial plan. Then number 7, what this does, you're not going to like this one, but it's so necessary to break these habits that are costing you more money than you need to be spending. Eliminate those daily trips to the premium coffee shop. When you're doing a 30-day detox, you have to make your own cold coffee treats, and You know, you can buy your own Frappuccino machine for a fraction of what you're going to spend on a monthly basis going to your favorite coffee shop. Because if you're spending on average $5 a day at your favorite coffee shop just during the work week, that's $25 a week. That's $100 a month just on your coffee. And so number 8, practice financial mindfulness, meaning you've got to be mindful, you've got to be mentally engaged, you got to be thinking about all the dollars that you're spending that are being wasted or that are spontaneous. And it's time for us to set again those boundaries and do strategic planning for the things we want to do. You know, you may be wanting to take that amazing vacation at the end of the year. Well, when you practice financial mindfulness, you are aware of at this point right now how much money you need to allocate and set aside so that you can have that dream trip and have that reality. And then number 9, it will allow your bank accounts to rest and replenish, because if you spend all the time, your bank account never gets an opportunity to be replenished or increased because it's always working. So Dr. Seema, would you like to add anything to that?
Yes, and I love this 9-point plan, and it's a wonderful way to control your finances and flourish, during any time in your life. And I love that many of these pointers can actually be used to optimize your health and do a physical reset of your health as well. Kind of like that holistic detox we were talking about. So instead of controlling spending, control what you're eating and drinking and how you're spending your time in a meaningful way. Think of ways that, that allow flow. So things that you're not thinking about time, minutes ticking away, but that you're immersed in whatever activity you're doing. Transforming your mindset and emotional attitude towards change is so important. You want to implement an effective whole body health plan. And that includes developing new positive habits. And that is with, eating, sleeping, exercise, building healthy relationships, stress reduction, eliminating substances like smoking, alcohol, and other things as well. And you don't have to say, make huge goals in your life. You can just start with something small. And when you start with something small, oftentimes success begets success. So maybe I will walk 5 minutes today, or I will stand at my desk for at least 10 minutes throughout the day. So and then you'll say, oh, I feel better, my back feels better, I was able to focus more. And then you just keep on increasing the things that you're doing, and it builds upon each other to create a holistic happy life, and a well optimized life as well. It's a work in progress, but definitely you're able to overcome. And what it does is it reduces your risk of chronic disease. And I love this, that pointers that you have, Carol, about shop with a grocery list. That is really important, and eliminating daily trips to premium coffee shops, because when you shop with a grocery list, it helps with healthy eating too. And coffees, oftentimes they have a lot of saturated fats and other things, and that goes along with eating out. So the more that you can prepare at home, typically the lower in salt, saturated fats, calories, and other unnecessary things, sugars are, curbed as well. And then lastly, you want to practice 2 things, actually. Practice mindfulness, not only financial mindfulness, but to be in that moment and make mindful decisions about your health instead of just automatically your knee-jerk reactions. And then lastly, you want to allow your body, just like you want to allow your bank accounts, to rest and replenish. So Carol, you've explained some essential benefits that result from the 30-day financial detox. Can you provide some practical action steps?
Oh, absolutely. I sure can, Dr. Seema. And let me just tell you to brace yourself for the practical application, because we talked about the benefits, and now we want to actually walk you through what you would do to start this 30-day financial detox. And so we have another slide that we're going to put up for you, so that, again, if you want to take a picture of it, or if you want to take notes, that's fine. because this is really important. And these financial steps are going to be extremely helpful to you if you will make the decision to participate in the 30-day financial detox. So here we go. The very first thing you have to do if you're not single is you've got to prepare your family for a different spending plan for the next 30 days, because remember, prior to you attending this session with us today, you were spending how you were spending, doing what you normally do. And so all of a sudden to just go in the house and shift things, that's not going to go over very well. And that's going to be a train wreck on the front end of this. And let me just interject right here that it normally takes at least 5 restarts for a financial detox of this nature, because this is totally out of the norm. Your brain is not functioning in this way. None of your financial behaviors have been in this level of discipline. And so I don't want you to feel defeated if you fall off for the first few days, because that's to be expected, because you're introducing a new habit into your world. And so each day, just get up and start all over again. And even if you've gotten into day 15 and you fall off, just pick up where you left off and keep going, because the journey matters at the end, not so much at the beginning, because you want to reach the finish line. So once you've gotten everybody on board, so, you know, that means you're going to have to do things like go to the grocery store and, you know, have that conversation about when we go to certain stores, we can't just grab toys off the shelf and all those things. You got to have a deep enough conversation where everybody understands where we're going for 30 days. And so make it a journey that, you know, your family is going to want to participate in and not rebel against. And if you're single, then find an accountability partner so that you can do it with somebody else and you don't feel like you're in this by yourself. So either way, you can have a winning strategy. So once you've got all of that worked out, then the next thing you want to do is just get a journal. You can go to the dollar store and get a journal. You can just take a piece of notebook paper, use your tablet, whatever you want to do. You want to record, keyword, every expense. You want to track every single dollar that you're spending in a 30-day period, because you're detoxing. And so what's going to happen at the end of these 30 days, you will be able to look at your journal and see the waste. You will be able to find areas where you're just spending money. So let me give you an example. Let's say you go to the gas station and you purchase gas, and they have one of those convenience stores that is attached to it. And you normally just walk in and you grab a soda and some chips and a candy bar or some popcorn or a hot dog, whatever you get when you go in there, that goes in the journal. See, all of that goes in the journal. Up until now, you just went in there and you purchased your gas and you did it at the pump. And then you took your wallet or your purse and you went inside and you made some more purchases that equal $5. That's $5 every time you pump gas. So if you pump gas 4 times a month, that's $20 that you're going into the store spending that you don't even think about, added to your $25 a week for your cold coffee. Okay, so you're already at $45 of not necessarily important money that needs to be spent. So then you want to also shift to what I call number 3, becoming cash-based. So there is a psychological difference that takes place with money when you use cash versus plastic. What do I mean by that? When you're swiping a debit card and you're handing out a credit card, you really don't feel anything with that. And if for some reason you're in a situation where one gets declined, you typically go into your wallet or your purse and say, well, try this one. See, there's no real emotion attached to that. But Benjamin Franklin is on a $100 bill. And so we often refer to the $100 bill as the Benjamin. Okay, there is a psychological difference that happens when you have to use a Benjamin. So when you have the Benjamin in your wallet or your purse and you're getting ready to spend, now all of a sudden you start thinking about, do I want to, we call it breaking it in the South. Do I want to break this Benjamin right now? In other words, let me see if I have some 5s, some 10s, some 1s, some 20s that I can use, because there is something psychologically that says, I don't want to spend this. You don't go through that same emotion when you're using a debit card. I can tell you that includes myself, Dr. Seema, all of us. We all go through that when we have to use big dollar bills. So as you can tell, I'm getting excited because I'm moving and I'm screaming and whatever, but this is one of my favorite things to talk about. And so you want to use cash because cash is going to set up a system for you where you automatically place boundaries. Automatically place boundaries there. So switch and do that for 30 days and let that debit card rest. Let those credit cards rest and watch and see how much money you have saved at the end of these 30 days. The next thing you want to do is kind of in line with number 3. You don't want to use the ATM machine. I want you to physically, because see, most people don't go to the bank anymore. So if you need money, you want to physically go to the bank to get out the amount that you need, not an amount that you don't know you don't need, but just what you need. Or if you're at an establishment that will allow you to get the extra cash when you're checking out, you can do it that way. But at the end of the day, you're still using cash because the ATM machine is a dumb machine. What do I mean by that? It is going to continue to dispense resources to you, not taking into consideration that your car payment is in transit, your mortgage is in transit, whatever else your utility bills that are on auto draft. The ATM machine doesn't know about all of that. If you show $2,000 available and you ask for 200, it's going to give you the 200. It's going to give it to you. And then when you don't keep track of your money, you're going to end up with an overdraft situation that's going to create a whole different chain of reactions in terms of extra money you're going to have to pay to the bank and to the vendor. So for that reason, the next thing you want to do is pay yourself a small weekly allowance. Did you hear me say small? A small weekly allowance. So I like to say it like this. Make it something that's going to require you manage it. So if you're accustomed to going to an ATM machine on your pay Friday, for example, and just grab $200 out of the machine, just grab 50. Just get 50 and see what you can do with $50 for that next week. Now, all of a sudden, before you decide to say get your nails done or
Carol, you're frozen.
and you've got to give $35 of it to the nail tech, all of a sudden, you're going to be thinking about how you're spending. It's going to change the game for you, okay? So I've already said use your debit card only as needed, so sparingly. Use it sparingly, not like you've been using it, but only when necessary. And then the next thing you want to do, if you're not already doing this, is you want to utilize your online options and you want to set up auto drafts and pay your monthly expenses. Well, why do you want to do that? It's discipline. Because if you know you have your utility bills that hit on the 15th and your car payment hits on the 20th and your mortgage hits on the 5th, or however you set it up, automatically now you're going to be making sure that the money is in the account. And when you know that these things have to come out, then you're not going to be spending them on other things, because in this 30-day cycle, you will be putting those control measures and boundaries in place that we talked about as relates to the benefits. This is how you begin to set up the system. And this is how you transition into financial wellness, because your finances are becoming whole. Right now, they may be in critical condition. They may be a little sick. They may be on life support. I don't know which area you may be in. Or they may be stabilized, but any little bump could cause you to need to have some help from a financialologist, okay? So we want to keep everything where it needs to be. Also, you do not want to add any new purchases to your credit cards in these next 30 days. Whatever is there is there. Now, let me just throw this in. I know that sometimes some of you use your credit cards like this. You would charge everything that you're going to purchase for the month or pay for the month on your credit card, and you pay it off when you get paid. That's fine if you're using that system. What I'm talking about is, we just had a holiday. So we have another holiday coming up in about 30 days or so. Okay, we're talking about all those sales and all those new shoes and all those new clothes. We're talking about those things. Those things don't need to happen when you're on the 30-day detox because they don't fit into the equation. So no new purchases. Anything you're going to purchase has to be purchased in cash. Okay. Now this one, okay, this one's gonna hurt. This is the one where people usually just faint. They just pass out. They're like, I'm done with the money mender. I was okay with you, money mender, until you got right here. What do you mean don't eat out for 30 days? Who does that? A person that's on a 30-day detox does not eat out for 30 days. How in the world do you expect me to do that? Well, I expect you to get that grocery list. I expect you to prepare your family. I expect you to figure out how to cook something. If you didn't learn how to cook, you need to get the stuff that's microwavable, that's in the bag, that's steamed, or, raw vegetables, fruit, smoothies, whatever you need to do. Somehow, some way, figure out 30 days of no eating out. Why would you want to do that? Well, if on the average you spend $10 a day for lunch, just you, that's $50 a week, $200 a month, $2,400 a year. If you're married and your husband does the same thing, come on, start doing the math. 200 becomes 400 a month, and 400 a year. 400 becomes 4,800 in a year. Almost $5,000 have been spent on just eating out. And if your children don't take a lunch, and they also have to have $3-4 a day for their meals at school. So now you add the children. Let's just say there's 2 children, which adds another $10 a week for lunch money. Now you've got another $50 a week, another $200 a month for the children, another $2,400 added to the $4,800 with you and your husband. You're at $7,600 or something like that. Okay, let me say it like this. That's almost $10,000 a year for a family of 4 to eat out for lunch. Then you have your cold coffee. Then you stop by the fast food place in the morning to get your croissant and cheese and egg and biscuits and whatever you have for breakfast. And then you don't cook dinner. And then you eat out for the whole weekend. Okay, you're talking about probably $25,000 a year on eating out. Then you go to the grocery store and end up throwing all the food away because you don't cook, but you just go to the grocery store and you just waste the food. So as you can see, there's a lot of money being spent on food, and this 30-day detox is going to help you figure out where the waste is and control it and bring that money back into the house. And then finally, after all of that, because you're going to need this on a 30-day detox, 3 times a day, 1 to 3 times a day, at least once, you got to make some positive affirmations. If your only affirmation is, I can get through this. Yes, I can. If that's what you have to say to get through it, you've got to make positive affirmations, because if you say, I can't, this is too hard, then you're not going to make it through this 30-day detox. So I hope that you find this very helpful. And Dr. Seema, I'm sure you can add some light to all of this. So take it away.
Yes, that was Carol. These are wonderful pointers. I mean, these are just kind of the things to really do, and something that we can adapt. Is going to be a little hard, but absolutely, when you add up the math, just for lunch, just thousands of dollars every year, and not to mention dinners and other things that we, many people do regularly. I really feel like these tips can help everyone at every stage of life, improve their financial health. And these principles actually can be used to develop a positive lifestyle as well. For example, preparing your family. You can prepare your family as well if you're going to be doing that holistic detox for, to let them know that there's going to be a different eating, exercise, sleeping plan over the next 30 days, so they can be ready to kind of lights off at 10 p.m., for example, or earlier. Recording your changes and how you feel over about them over time in a journal is really helpful. You'll notice when your brain fog lifts, for example, once you start eating healthier and more fruits and vegetables throughout the day, more water, you'll notice that, hey, I think I'm having more energy, or I slept a little bit deeper last night. Maybe your blood pressure improves, maybe your cholesterol numbers improve. You may feel closer to friends and family and feel more supported. So a lot of things can really be measured when you just kind of look and journal it. And I love this one about using as much cash as possible. So when you're taking out, breaking that Benjamin, breaking out that $100 bill, then you can say, okay, what am I taking in? You can think about and be more mindful about responsible eating and your eating habits. Is it better to go to McDonald's for that quick snack? Or can I bring a bag of carrots and hummus from home, for example? And then, pay yourself a small weekly allowance and don't withdraw funds for miscellaneous spending. These are great principles because it's very important to take everything in moderation. So as you're reducing, say, your sugary drink consumption, so you have a couple of sodas a day, you're trying to reduce that and change them out for water, or eating more fruits and vegetables, you may want to include some chocolate as a treat, or once you're done with the detox, a coffee once as a treat, at once every couple weeks or once a month. So definitely, it's not good to kind of make sure that you eat things that you can never have, but take everything in moderation. And I love the utilizing, online options for shortcuts, pre-cut vegetables, deliveries of groceries to the house, all of that can help, within your budget or within your spending plan, not your budget, but your spending plan, to think about ways, creative ways to eat healthier. And especially for eating out. Unfortunately, this is eating out. Oftentimes there's extra salt, sugars, saturated fats, and the like. So this is excellent for the diet, as to improve your overall health. And the last one about making positive affirmations, 1 to 3 times a day. I love this. And this is a very important principle in cultivating your emotional health. These positive affirmations, meditations, things to do like giving back to the community, working on your spiritual health, determining who are positive role models in your life. They can all help optimize your emotional reserve and your health as well. And then the last piece I'll touch on is just cutting out social media for a bit. This has been shown to reduce feelings of depression, anxiety. You might be spending hours a day scrolling through Facebook or TikTok or whatever, that your Twitter, all these different things. But thinking about that time can wait and maybe can be better spent doing other things. And then maybe just saying, okay, I have a 10-minute limit on how much I can do rather than just unlimited. So being aware of all the things that you do and then making those changes in small, tangible ways really works beautifully. So Carol, thank you once again for all of these powerful pointers and advice. What are some financial or additional resources and reading our audience can do to learn more about everything that you talked about?
Thank you, Dr. Seema. That was just such a great analogy that you gave us as well, and just life-changing information. But once again, if you're not here for the first and second session, I gave you 6 different resources that could be utilized, realizing that everybody lives in different parts of the country. I tried to keep it generic. So we have budgeting apps. And again, we don't use the word budgeting, but that's how you would have to find them if you Google them. And so there's one called Spending Tracker, and that's a really excellent one for beginners. And then there's one called Mint, and that's for beginners. And if you're a little bit more advanced and want to be a little bit more sophisticated with what you're going to do for your spending plans. And both of these apps can be downloaded for free from your Play Store, and they also have versions for your laptops. For your credit restoration and credit management, a lot of people are paying $19 to $29 a month to monitor your credit and to see your credit scores. Well, you can get the free app, creditkarma.com, and it will enable you to track 2 of your 3 credit scores and all of the activity. So anytime any activity happens on your credit, you're going to get an alert for you to check it out. And so that's free. and just ignore all of the offers that they give you for this credit card may be great for you and this may help with your auto insurance. You don't want to pay attention to all of that. So for those of you that need to get your estate planning in order, those wills or trust and healthcare directives and power of attorney, a very inexpensive option for you to choose if you're not ready to sit down with an estate attorney would be legalzoom.com, because it's very affordable and they also provide online assistance with attorneys for you with those packages. And then for those of you that are ready to really take my advice from the other 2 sessions regarding retirement, and you're not really sure where to start and you're not working with an advisor yet, definitely Google a free retirement calculator. We want to make sure we do that. And if you're in need of health insurance, maybe COVID has you in between jobs, or maybe your spouse was carrying the health insurance and their job went away with COVID, there's still help and options for you at healthcare.gov. So there are affordable plans out there. And then finally, for those of you that are looking for a broker, not a broker, but a financial advisor that you want to work with to set up your retirement and other insurance needs, if you want to check out whether they're licensed, their years of experience, if they have fines, complaints, the firm they're working with, you can also check out brokercheck.com. So those are some wonderful references. And then the last thing that I want to tell you to do, if you want to receive the complimentary 5-part teaching that I have available, you can just log on to thebefreechallenge.com. That's thebefreechallenge.com. And those 5 video trainings will start dropping to you, 1 each day over 5 days. And so at this time, Dr. Seema, I'll turn it back over to you.
Yes, that is wonderful, and what great resources for all of us to use, and just keep them on our, tabs on our website. I think that's really helpful on your browser. So thank you so much for the insightful recommendations. Next, we have a couple of questions. We have a few moments to go through some Q&A, and I love all these questions, so thank you. So how would you begin? This one's for Carol. How would you begin to set a financial detox goal?
A financial detox goal?
Mm-hmm.
Well, because you're going to be doing it for 30 days, I would do something small. For example, I've already given you one good one. One good one would be don't eat out for 30 days, but then you want to take it a step further. If you are that person that spends $200 a month on eating out, now you want to decide what that $200 savings is going to do for you. Is that going to be $200 that you add to build your emergency reserve fund? Is that going to be $200 towards your high school senior who's going to have a whole lot of fees in their senior year? Or is that the $200 that you're going to use to start the initial 529 education fund for your younger children? Is that going to be the $200 for the upcoming car repairs that you have? And so you have, every person's life is different. And so you have to give that dollar or those dollars that you're going to be saving a mission.
That's great. I love that. And I have a few other questions as well. What are some positive financial affirmations that you use?
Well, for me, a lot of times mine are business oriented, but I can tell you a couple of personal ones too. And so, for example, if I want my business to generate a certain amount of money in the month, I will say, because I do X, Y, and Z, my business would generate X amount in revenue, and that revenue will fund X, Y, Z. So you always want to give it something purposeful, because if you say, for example, I believe today that my business can earn $25,000 in 30 days. Okay, that's very generic. That doesn't give it enough substance. But if you say, if I add 5 new clients and I have 2 speaking engagements and I do this and that, then I will generate the $25,000 I need to increase copy machines, or, you know, whatever I'm going to have to do on a more personal level. You would say something like, I believe that I can save $5,000 a year because I'm using my grocery list. I'm not going to my ATM machine, and I will take my lunch so that I can save my $200. So it's something in that family. So everything has to be complete. If it's just a fragmented bullet, you're probably not going to do it because you're not practicing mindfulness.
I love that. And I love that specific, and it goes back to that first question about goals, you know, really setting up each goal to be, we call them SMART goals in the coaching world. So they're specific, measurable, S for specific, M for measurable, A for attainable, R for realistic, and T for time sensitive. So it's kind of like a way to kind of really dig deep and figure out, how really will I achieve my goals? How will I make that next step? So absolutely some great advice there, Carol. Thank you. And I love those affirmations. So in closing, you know, of course, I want to thank all of you for listening, and thank Carol Hunter for, you know, joining us here today on Rise and Thrive with EHE. But I think you have a nice gift to offer our viewers.
Yes, so we have a free 30-minute coaching session for the person that was the first one to log on to this training today. And so the wonderful Colette Mahoney is gonna make sure she lets us know who that person is so that we can get that gift certificate over to you.
Excellent. So Colette, let us know if you have that information. We may just contact that individual person after this recording, after this live broadcast. But we just want to thank you all. We appreciate you all being here, and thank you to all of those who joined us. Yes, exactly. We will email. So just got a message from Colette. Yes, we'll absolutely email you. So thank you. Thank you, Colette, for that. But we appreciate, again, you all being here today. Thank you to those who joined us. Please follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram for additional content. And until next time, thank you so much.